Vibrant with the flow, why y'all still so elementary? About to shoot another scene for our show called Black Gentry.
I should get going now.
Without your boo?
My grandfather thinks this town is cursed. He says that all the bad things that happen in this town are because of one thing. An evil thing that feeds off the people of Derry.
But it can't be one thing. We all saw something different.
Maybe. Or maybe it knows what scares us most, and that's what we see.
One of the main things I think plaguing not only the black community, but just people in general at this point is fear. And to me, fear has a power over a person to where it can make a person stagnant. You show enough fear and you'll be scared to do anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, at what point do we look ourselves in the mirror and say, you know what, I'm going to stop running away from my fears and I'm going to start running towards them and see what I can do to like overcome, this imaginary phobia that I think I have, but in reality, it's just something that's holding me back and giving me an excuse to not excel or do what it is that I need to do.
Yeah, well, we always, I mean, if you don't know what fear stands for, it's false evidence appearing real.
Mm.
That's what it is. Like, it's all in your mind.
Mm.
Like, you're going to be in your own way trying to get to where you got to go.
Mm. Mm.
Period.
Speak on. What's your idea of fear? You right?
Man, I feel like fear is necessary though. Like some of the worst decisions have been made under fear, and then some of the best have too. I feel like when we speak about making a plan for evacuation or whatever, and the worst possible outcomes. Always thinking about the worst possible outcome, so you can make a plan and you can always be prepared for it. So a lot of that has to do with fear. Like you gotta think about what could go wrong, and I mean that let's be honest, that could be scary. Like that's fear. Like it's not always like something false appearing real. Like sometimes fear is like
justified.
Yeah. And it's good and it's natural.
It's not. Hey, look, that's two sides of fear, and I think in the 21st century, a lot of times technology or all of these other things kind of shelter us away from the realities of what's actually going on around us, like the Hurricane Harveys, the fact that earthquakes are starting to happen, in my opinion, a little bit more than often. You know, should that fear be looked at as irrational to someone that's in a place where, hey, they're not necessarily experiencing the earthquakes. They're not getting hit by the tornadoes. The natural disasters haven't caught up to them yet. And that person still has fear. Mm-hmm. You know, that's where the phobias come in, where, hey, there is no natural situation affecting your personal life right at this moment. Like your life is not in danger, right. But for some reason you're scared to do something. You know what I'm saying? That, like, speak from that. You know what I'm saying? How is there anything in your life or your life that has posed itself as fear, and then you realize, you know what, this is in my mind?
Yeah, I mean, of course, like with me, it was when I first had my mindset on, like, you know, being an entrepreneur, you know, it's like, damn, what am I leaving? I have this, I have that in this job, like benefits, this, that, and the third. But you know, if I do this, then I ain't gonna have this cushion right here. So it's like, yeah, I mean, fear crept up a couple of times in my mind, but then I had to say, you know what, it's do or die. Period. You know, it's for some people it's not that simple. For me,
Fight or flight was your reaction to
Yeah.
fear.
that's it.
You decided to fight. Some people, they
Yeah.
decide to run.
Yeah, it's out to run.
Running sometimes, like Eric said, sometimes it's necessary. If you see a tsunami coming,
Yeah.
don't stand
No,
there.
you
trying to
gotta
fight.
run. You gotta run. You gotta survive, though.
You gotta
survive, though. You know what I'm saying? But business wise, yeah, fight or flight. You know, but as far as like you talking about natural disasters, we know what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
So, is it fear for planning? Nah. I mean, you got to plan. You know what I'm saying? I mean, yeah, I understand where you're coming from. You know what I'm saying? As far as like, dang, this really can't happen. But then you got to think, okay, let's plan for it. You know what I'm saying?
My thing wasn't. I understand what you're saying. Like, my thing wasn't that fear is always a bad thing. That was just my main point.
Right.
That fear isn't always a bad thing. Like, I understand. Like, you got to be willing, like, to take chances on stuff. Like, a lot of times I feel like the hardest part of something is actually just starting it. And once you start it, you realize, dang, like, once you in it, you realize, dang, like, it's not even that, like,
Yeah.
it was actually, like, it's not even really.
It was
all
more
that. Like,
mental than
yeah, it was more. It's like that mental hurdle of just getting started. It stems from fear of the unknown, of not knowing what can come or what other people were going to think of it. And sometimes you just got to put that to the side. So yeah,
just keep it moving, man.
Think about what you just focus what you want to do and see your vision, and whoever with it.
Yeah.
So I guess my final thoughts on fear would be evaluate whether it's a real threat or not. Like, if it's a real threat on your life, okay, don't do it. But if you look at the facts and you realize, you know what? None of the stuff that I'm basing my fear on is based in reality. Nothing is based, my fear isn't based on an actual threat. It's more so about if it's about how I'm perceived or what people are going to think, that's not fear that you need to literally be running away from. That's fear that you need to be running towards, because we have to become a people that is willing to look fear dead in the mirror and say, you know what? You're not going to stop me from becoming whoever or whatever I'm going to be. I'm not going to sit here and let fear dictate my movements. I'm going to move and make fear get out of my way. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I guess any final thoughts on fear from you guys, or
don't have fear? Just do it. Like Nike.
Discuss something else permeating in society. Thank you.
Senate Cleaning has been keeping commercial and government properties clean, on budget, and without the worry. We're bonded, insured, and government certified. That means you get professional results the first time, guaranteed. Call 301-996-6110 for a free no-obligation estimate. That's 301-996-6110. Or visit SenateCleaning.com. That's SENATE cleaning.com.